Hi. Kathy Awake, Deeply Vic. Sure, that'll work. Why not? Wah, wah. Okay, so that would work. Huh. So yeah, right before I started, they said, of course, Gally, you know why we picked this. Everything is, of course, purposeful, right? That you pick this. However, this is the day of juxtaposition. This is the day of walking into a hall of mirrors and being unscathed. And we have great gifts for those who wish to follow along. And, well, it would appear we're going to launch. We do believe this is, well, as you will be able to tell, this is only the beginning of a study. This is the study of validity, yes, which there is, we wish to clarify, the study of validity is actually a study of scientific weight. It's an endeavor that fuses physics with personality theory. However, it also fuses with many other theories. And one of the aspects of this study is personality integration. The other way of saying this phrase is clarity of soul, clarity of expression. And perhaps we change it so that people understand that more clearly. Because unfortunately, personality integration, well, it requires a certain understanding that there has been disintegration. And we would caution you regarding that. It is not true. So within the title is the paradox itself, the wound, bleeding there. However, it truly is an exploration of expression of one's soul in body, in relationship, in structure. And so, why the contrast? She's in the shower, puzzling it out. Why post a poster that says, shout out to my third eye gang, and coupling it with a rap song with many, many dirty words, and truly a warrior's cry. Why? Is that okay? I don't think it's okay. I need to go pull it. After I am dry, I will go pull it. Because, and so we asked her, so what is your discomfort? What are you uncomfortable with, dear? Oh, people won't understand. Yes, they may not. So, go on. Well, they're going to think bad of me. Ah. And so you would pull it to do what? Well, so they wouldn't think bad of me? Ah. And that it is. Is the expression a valid one, as the water is pounding on your head and you're scrubbing the significant oil from your hair? Tell us, dear one. Do you feel this was an appropriate coupling of song and visual? Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Makes me feel like $1 million. Get back, MFer. You don't know me like that. Hey. No, you don't get to do that to me anymore. Like that. Yes, we said, like that. Of course. And then it began to roll, and it's been rolling all night and all day. It's difficult for especially the male part of the culture to understand this kind of rage, coming from a sweet soul with large breasts and a love of God. How is this abomination possible? And so the discussion was, well, consider this. This has been coming on for a long, long time. This is central. This one has known many friends, family, lovers, many who feel it valid, appropriate, and necessary to structure information in such a way as to not elicit anger. When she first encountered this unmasked with, someone very, very dear, where there was mutual love that was deep. This is one of the things that was a nail in that relationship's coffin. Soon enough, but over time, it became very clear that there was much that was not shared, much that was shared that was not entirely accurate, for the purpose of keeping this one in line. Now, this is how she took it. Of course, that wasn't what was going on. What was going on was someone who was deep in denial and telling ponderous, what is a lie? A reality told over and over again begins to change the consciousness, does it not? However, the structure knows that there's more going on, and that there are things within the event or the feeling state which, if bad, would be seen as lethal to either the person holding the awareness or to the recipient of the awareness, and so it is hidden. But this mechanism truly, she finds magnetically repulsive, having information withheld, because of to make it easier for her or the other, to make it somehow, even if the information is required to make an informed decision. Well, no, you can't have that. That's mine. Oh, yes. What is that? Well, when brought home to self, we have brought it up again and again. As one begins to clear one's head and heart, as one becomes integrated and cohesive in their awarenesses and their expression, the need for hiding lessens, but it's still there, covered often with defensiveness, with temper. Much is covered with temper. To control another, to control another's feeling state, to control another's reality. To what degree do you engage in this? To what degree does she? Had she pulled that little coupling, then other things would have come up which were juxtaposed and which would have thrown her into the same kind of feeling state, only more unavoidable. Because it's important to understand a couple of things before we launch into existential depression and the theory of validity. And that is this freeing thought that she's been having lately, a freeing thought which she sees others holding, which others live in and invite her into, and show her around. Not understanding truly that she doesn't do a lot of it herself. The idea behind this one is, you have a problem with my body weighing 300 pounds. Really? Well, I have a son who wants to go to the pool, and I myself like to take a dip. And I appreciate in the mirror that my body doesn't look like perhaps other people's, and that the ones who have bodies like mine prefer not to garb them in spandex underpants and little tops and waddle into pools. But I prefer that at this moment. And so, kind sir, kind lady, kind child. She would say this before she left the house. Listen up. If you have a problem with my body shape, well then, I guess you have a problem. Enjoy that. And she walked hand in hand to the pool with her son. More free that day than in most that she had spent in her voluntary prison. Had she been of the mindset, oh my God, I must be concerned with the safety and comfort of others' consciousness, well, we will tell you she would have gone in shorts and a long shirt. But something inside of her was singing, saying, in this case, I know I'm not the one with the problem. You've got an issue? Well then, baby, you got an issue. Now, there's a way to soften that, of course. However, coming from this one, it was like rocket fuel. Having been so very managed, having managed herself so tightly, to come to that realization, seemingly on just another Monday. Well, bravo. The idea here is, if there were people who appeared upon her Facebook page, which we have equated now with a simple journal, which others don't seem to mind accessing and get jollies from and learn from, and very rarely complain about. Do you see how the validity in self is increasing? We bring this to your attention because there was a video course that was quite revealing. We wish to discuss it quite briefly. She had called it Sausage Factory. You understand what that alludes to. And then she watched it after certainly a huge activation and a fugue, during which she had titled it. Coming back online, she saw it and realized this is as close to a sin against a work of art as I've ever seen. It's like spray painting the Mona Lisa. It cannot stand. And so she named it It Passed Over. This alludes to an event which the world got to see and can see at any time, contained within the last, 4 minutes of that video. The culmination, truly, of the thoughts that were building toward that climax. She cannot watch that footage without beginning to shake and cry prior to words being spoken. She hears her face mutter, "An angel of the Lord is upon thee. An angel of the Lord is upon thee." There is a piece of information which she chose not to share during that gift she gave you. And that is this. She wanted to tell you about the door. When this event happened, she was in a house, a simple house. She had been instructed, and she had done so. She had smeared the door with blood. In the transmission, she wanted to explain about the metal thing that Jewish people knock onto their outer door jamb. But she knew that wasn't right, and so she failed to mention it. And then, it is true. It was physical. It is true. It was beyond menacing. It is true. That it was right and proper to be truly in a state of terror. And after the shadow had overpassed, she looked down, and there was a black feather. What we brought her attention to this morning, however, was this. Consider the very God, the very construct which created the need and the appropriateness of saying "Thy will be done" was the very consciousness which had produced the shadow. This idea of "Thy will be done," well, we need to be careful, don't we? When said in utter reverence, with a love so pure that there's nothing known as separation. This is what we are talking about when one consciousness understands. It is not merely one consciousness. In that state, it is simply a statement of fact. It's a statement of unity and of great homecoming. But in those final seconds, shaking, crying, flooded with endorphins, flooded with relief, out it came. "Thy will be done, thy will be done, thy will be done." We would say that in this particular instance, it was a team effort, was it not? Poor baby. Instructions had been given, and the promise was held. A prophecy of sorts, a rescue. There are certain constructs here in which rescue is appropriate. Because, dear ones, redemption, absolution, is appropriate. And so, The question is it okay to have a differing opinion? Is it okay to have an expression which may rankle others? Which may, in fact, allow them to question this one's worth, divinity, intactness of consciousness, judgment? And just how powerful she might be. The song is a cry of great celebration because it is saying to the man, to the patriarchy, to Kali, no, I shall not bend this time. No, you don't know me. And any attempts you make to tell me about me, standing there in your ignorance and fear and judgment and criticism, well, get back. You don't know me like that. That's what this song is saying to her. I know who I am, and I do not concur if you want to play takeaway with me. Why do we bring up the shadow? Why do we bring up this curious concept of a consciousness which seems to love to set up devastation and redemption? It brings up the idea it was being expressed in Vespers, was being lived after Vespers, and which was for a few minutes this morning exhumed and danced with. A skeleton clacking around the apartment as she whooped and hollered and sang and danced. There's joy and glee in there. She explained it. When you can see far enough, a lot of the nonsense looks just like that. But then look a little deeper and you see the devastation consciousness must generate, and the pain it requires an onlooker or a participant to engage in. We would suggest there's not a lot of that about in her reality, okay? It ain't like that. Neither was it ever. Not really. But, like many things, she rides with things that may not seem real to you, but which pull her into dimensions you are not aware of, into awarenesses that remain unexpressed even now. The idea of controlling another person's reality in order to ease their way so they don't have bad feelings. And this is extended to, well, I don't want them to be uncomfortable. I know that compassion and love and patience feel better. I know I heal when people are nice to me and they give to me even though I don't think I deserve it. And every time they do, every time they extend themselves and show me that they are forgiving my nonsense, I get better. And I need it, like a drug. It's healing me. we would submit it's not like that at all. The blossoming of love and acceptance she's seeing around her, well, truly it's nothing more than other people being able to smell her own self-affirmation and love. But this remains a hall of mirrors, dears. And may, for a little bit. She is aware of the grand consciousness. She is aware. She can feel it. She can feel it. And so, here's the deal. This is for the empaths in the room. It's quite an important concept, and one we were going to expand on. We believe we must. When at the office, when at the dinner table, when at Thanksgiving, one sees smiles and hears words of neutral encouragement, or at least a lack of disdain. Well, this is supposed to put one at ease, is it not? Hearing words of hatred, this is supposed to create a sense of anger and indignation and paranoia. But no. In this she sees little boys and girls having temper tantrums. And at the dinner table, often riding below and singing above is threat itself, delivered with a sigh, with a veiled criticism, with not attending to an important point in the conversation. And in relationship, being able to see, not the cautious that has been, the agreement is that in relationship, no, we don't read the cautious, no, go on your own. But she has access to probability fields still. She sees them roll. She knows with one or two sentences, while in relationship, she can affect the outcome, shortening it, killing it, because she can see clearly what's going on. And yet, the doubt in this one was so disfiguring. It was disfiguring. It was disabling. No one to ask, how is it that when he talks to me, I'm understanding lifetimes? How is it when she looks me in the eye, all I can hear cries of loneliness, and yet she's bubbly? How is that? This, we would suggest, is the cause of the crazy. And we wish to mention it because we know she is far from the only one. And we would suggest that some of the tilty, off the reservation, so to speak, behavior of those who act in violent ways are themselves reacting to stimuli they do not understand. Neither do they have the equipment within, through training, through role modeling, through interest, to understand, because understanding begins with articulating the reality. And so many have chosen to simply remain silent about their truths, about their feelings. And isn't it the truth, dear love, in front of us, that you yourself took about 3 or longer years of training to figure out what a feeling was? How do I feel? Well, it had to start somewhere. And so Richard showed up and helped, identifying feeling, thought, belief, intent, impact, energetic management within the social construct we would posit. His greatest truth, something she lives with to this day and does her best to practice. Truly, in this life, the only thing you have control over is this: to state to the other what you like, what you do not like, and what you would prefer. That's it. Certainly that would begin to make you feel as if your scope of influence is not very wide, and that you really may not have a lot of power in some situations. Well, she went on to study and learn that that was not entirely true, more like a 6-year-old's understanding of a concept that a 56-year-old knows in a cellular way. In a place with free will, how appropriate is it to be thinking about the consciousness of the other and modifying behavior to effect an outcome within their consciousness? How honest is that? How kind is that? How true is that? How skilled is that? It's not. It's just not. It's a posture of fear. And that is all. And so we can talk about fear looking like a little virus, with RNA that injects and then takes over a cell. Sure, that's a pretty good model, actually. If you read the writing, you'll see soon that nature itself is a grand mirror for not only physical truths, but consciousness and reality. Statement. Elucidation. Example. So the idea that it's important to manage another person's reality, well, this needs to fade away, and at times that is done with silly posts in a shower and a talk that results in a headache. It is very, very nice to present in a way that one finds beautiful to oneself. Notice the flicker. We were just thinking we're looking a little funny here. But do you understand, we hope, what we're saying? It is advanced. There are meanings that defy a ready description within much of this. And it is with time that these truths begin to weave a certain coherence and balance into thinking. However, for today, the issue at hand is what feels best right now in this moment for me. How do I wish to dress myself and express myself in this moment here and here and here? Not judging behavior, but simply feeling in love. Yes. I'm not arguing with this. Yes, this feels good. I feel no restriction inside. I don't care what anyone else thinks. I just don't. If you got a problem with it, have a problem with it, but do it over there. Don't bring it to my attention unless you want me to talk to you about that, because I find my expression quite valid and beautiful and funny and redemptive. And I certainly understand why you wouldn't, but must we argue about it? We can discuss it, and you might even change my mind, and for that I'll give you a big sloppy kiss. But come to me telling me I'm bad or wrong or am thinking about things improperly, and well, there might be a throwdown. There might be the gift of silence given, but the impatience is growing, and so this is why the writing becomes more and more important, to funnel this new exuberance in a way which is helpful and is therapeutic, rather than walking around like a new age collie saying, I know best for everyone. Here, take a listen to me. I am so darn fierce. No, it's not like that at all. It's, this feels like the most perfect expression in the world. Boop! Oh my God, I can't believe I did that. People are gonna not like me, and they're gonna think bad thoughts about me. Well, let them. Let them. Yes, there is such a thing as going too far, and if you know you've gone too far, well, look at the videos we have not released. Okay? Does everything that comes into your head needs to be pooped out? No. No. However, when something comes and it's clear and it's coherent and it makes you go, oh, yeah, well then, might we suggest for the moment stopping the caretaking, stopping the hand-holding, stopping the mitigation of experience, and simply enjoy the expression. We ask questions. At times it may seem, yes, we say it again, as if we are coming at you with a little fillet knife going whoop, oh, hey, wait a minute, my insides were on the outside now. Hey, what am I supposed to do? All my feelings out there. Wait a minute here. There's a reason why we're doing this video, and the one to follow. She's going out in society again. She's had 2 dry runs, and they have been spectacular. But the first time, with the first spinning of that macabre, well, we would tell you. The point was to drive around town, not to meet anyone. She's hoping she can meet that one woman at the bookstore again. There's problems in the kidneys and liver. She's hoping she'll be able to shake that one's hands again. She's hoping she might have a private moment. She's not sure how to approach it, but somehow she knows she has to tell her She wants to help. This is a tricky one for this one. She sees the suffering. She sees the surprise and shock in that woman's eyes, and the fear, and wants nothing but to calm that precious one who did not recognize her, but who has been helping her for years. When she came in, feeling beaten and scared and valueless, we wish to discuss depression not as a psychological construct or in terms of allopathic treatment, but instead as a consciousness state, how it presents, what it takes away, what it gives, and how to walk from it. And we wish you to come along if you wish, but we wanted to start with this. A time of managing oneself and no longer managing anyone else. Doing as the Melissa does. This is how it is for me. I don't understand that, but I do understand this way of seeing it. Do you want me to tell you? Like that. There's a way of doing it so that all feel validated, and no one walks away feeling as if they've gotten it wrong. However, some people have it wrong. And by virtue of their misunderstanding, they harm others, knowingly or unknowingly. And so we wish to end with a prayer, one that the Gael loved and one that we adopted. When in truck with someone, calling them up in your meditation area in your head, looking at them and understanding they can talk back to you, but for this moment, looking at them and saying, the God in me sees the God in you. And I wish to make right, acknowledge, and apologize for any harm that I've done you intentionally or unintentionally at any time. Further, I accept your acknowledgement and your apology for having done me harm intentionally and unintentionally. This day we walk as family. This day, Archangel Michael comes with his sword. And now, all ties between us, which are not of the highest love, light, and sound, all karmic ties, all agreements, all requests are severed through Archangel Michael's purity and wisdom. Only those ties which serve the highest good shall and will remain. Archangel Michael is not able to sever love ties. Archangel Michael is not allowed or is not able to sever ties which you refuse to relinquish. And truly, Karmic ties are important ties. However, when the pain got to be too much with an employer, with a parent, with a friend, she would do this sometimes. She no longer does, for she understands what her brother explained to her about running energy. And we will do that one next. Oh, good. This is a start, and a start only, but we wished you to have this today because she's going out there, tends to see it as a menace, as something she has to manage. She has to be on the lookout and the alert for what she calls the bullshit, what others on that panel called the ugly. Something that is, one of them can actually read in tiny increments and has learned how to coach people, how to increase the vibration, which is elevating, in which he has seen miracles germinate from. It's real. And this consciousness that pulls, invites calamity and rescue. Well, we can assure you what you saw. A fella in that woman's hand, as she said, it passed over. It shouldn't have, but it just passed over. That was someone who understood there's something greater going on here that is physical, it is real, and it is powerful. But not understanding. By virtue of seeing it, she was acknowledging she was its creator. In the highest honor, in the deepest dignity, we offer this meditation to you and hope it eases your way. And if it flames, if it creates great turbulence and eddies of dissonance, well then so be it. You chose to push that button. It's your consciousness screaming at you while it's holding you tight, tighter than you've ever been held. Oh, thank God, welcome home. We have work to do. Say that.